He came in singing about heaven, a soft-spoken boy from Mathare with tears in his eyes and faith in his lyrics.
Kitu mimi naweza promise. Ana promise mbele ya world. God sitaikuacha.
The church called him the anointed, but pia my fans, they said he was so blessed. A boy who turned pain into prayer and struggle into song. But behind the sweet gospel voice was hunger, not just for God, but for glory, the fame, the lights, and the life he only saw on TV. He learned that faith could open doors, but fame could break walls. And in the world where gospel crown fades fast, Bahati realized salvation alone doesn't pay the bills. This is the story of Bahati, the boy who sang for heaven but ended up owning the world. Just a minute. Remember subscribing to CB Reports, your #1 documentary YouTube channel. Back to the story now. Bahati played the gospel game perfectly. He cried on stage, sang about mama, and told the world how Jesus changed his life. Every tear sold a record. Every prayer built his brand. And the church gave him a platform. And trust me, he knew exactly what to do with it. This is Bahati, real name Kevin Buvi Kioko, a boy from Mathare who grew up in a children's home after losing his parents. He came from nothing, but that didn't stop him. Music became his way out, and gospel was the door that opened everything.
Bahati amemaliza shule last year and is already selling millions of copies here. Bahati, how do you feel? Unasikiaje Baha?
I feel humbled.
Yeah.
Na God apewe glory. How sio?
Oh yes.
His song like Mama, Barua, Machozi touched people's heart. Mama was a special song, the one he dedicated to his late mother. That made even grown men tear up. Radio station played it on repeat, and Kenyan feel like they knew Bahati personally. Then came Barua, a song that changed everything. It took over the country, won big Groove Awards, and made him a new king of gospel. Bahati started collecting awards left, right, Male Artist of the Year, Song of the Year, and many more. Suddenly, he wasn't just that humble boy from Mathare. He was a star now. Past invited him to events, gospel shows. But let's be honest, gospel in Kenya isn't just a ministry. It is also a business where you have to make some cash out of it. And Bahati had the voice, the story, the tears, and the timing. He learned fast that when you mix faith with fame, people would listen and pay. Every amen he shouted and every tear he dropped made him bigger. The church gave him love, but the music gave him power. And deep down, Bahati started to see it. Gospel had given him a name, but the fame was calling for more. Then one day, the gospel stopped playing. The cross turned into a camera. The altar became a music set. Bahati, same boy who cried on stage and thanked God for saving him, started walking different paths. The soft-spoken gospel child had grown into a showbiz man. At first, fans thought it was just clothes. He was dressing better, driving better, and living large. But slowly, the message in his music began to change. The praise turned into passion. The worship lyrics turned into love stories. Machozi, Mama, and Barua became Wanani, Saizi Yangu, and Abebo. Bahati was no longer singing to heaven. He was singing to the charts. A man who once stood beside gospel legend like Daddy Owen was now competing with secular stars like Otile Brown, Diamond. His sound got bolder, his video got flasher, and his lifestyle was so loud. He married Diana, a YouTuber, influencer, a brand on her own, Together they became Kenya's first real celebrity couple. Every move they made, from baby reveals to reality shows, trended. Love, money, and luxury became their new gospel. Bahati started saying it openly that music was a business and you can't preach when your pockets are empty. And that sounds true. He said the church turned its back on him the moment he tried to grow. And maybe he was right.
Sasa pia ndaongea sana.
No, but that's your truth.
Sasa
kuna politics hivyo nyingi behind the scenes.
politics iko mbaya kuliko ile yangu ya Jubilee kwa bwana.
The same people who cheered his tears were now calling him lost. But Bahati never seemed to be stopping soon. He doubled down from collabos with Boondocks Gang, who were a popular member of Gengeton, to appearance in a flash video surrounded by models and champagne. He was fully in the game. The boy from Mathare had transformed into mtoto wa mama turned superstar. Today Bahati calls himself president of the ghetto and also Islando most beloved, which is also the name of his recording label. He won awards, signed deals, joined politics, and built one of the most followed Kenyan family online. In subsequent interviews, Bahati appeared saying gospel industry was fake, full of hate, jealousy, and hypocrisy. So, according to Bahati, the same people who preached love were the one who wished for your downfall. He said gospel industry were competing for attention, not souls, and maybe, just maybe, he was right.
Namba kwa simu. In person.
In person munaitwa hapo kwa ofisi na mnaambua step down, unaona utaogopa juu utaachwa kuchezwa wewe.
Huyu sasa muona kuambia hivyo.
Bwana, okay, nimekuambia wacha tuweke vizuri. Ni team leadership.
Team decision.
But others believed it was an exit excuse. The perfect reason to cross over to the other side. Either way, the switch was smooth from worshipped romance, from hallelujah to number one on trending. The boy who sang about Mama was now singing about Diana. The same man who cried at the altar now smiled in luxury cars, designer clothes. He stopped quoting Bible verses and started quoting brand deals. Bahati knew the gospel gave him an audience, but secular gave him power. In gospel, he was humble Mathare boy who made it. In secular, he became the boss, the family man, the influencer, and the brand. Now the same man who once begged for God mercies pulls up in millions of views showing off his mansion, his marriage, and his money. His YouTube channel became his new pulpit. His followers became his congregation. Every post a testimony, not of faith, but of fame. Some say he lost his calling, others say he found his purpose, but things are clear. Bahati understood the game and like every survivor from the street, he played it better. To the streets, he's no longer that humble church boy. He's confident now and sometimes careless. But that is the Bahati formula. He learned early that you can't stay holy and still trend. He once sang for souls, now he sings for stars. But that's the price of evolution. Every saint who dreams of stardom must face temptation in full light. Bahati figured out the secret. God builds you, but fame finishes you. And maybe that is the story. Not just of rise and fall, but transformation. From Mathare's dusty streets to million shillings endorsement. From gospel tears to YouTube premiers. From a choir boy to Kenya's satisfied family man. He has been called fake, fallen and forgotten, yet every time he bounces back stronger. He is loved and hated in equal measures, but always watched. Because love him or not, Bahati has mastered the attention, and in today's world, that is the true gospel. Maybe he played the system, maybe he just evolved, maybe he discovered that salvation and success don't always walk hand in hand. But one thing is clear, Bahati used the church as his runway. And when his wings were ready, he flew. He flew past judgment, past opinions, past the limits of gospel music. He built an empire out of controversy and brand out of imperfection. And whether you call him a sinner or a star, Bahati remains a symbol of one truth. That in Kenyan's music industry, survival isn't about who prays the loudest. It is about who learns to rise even when the world calls you fallen. Because in the end, Bahati didn't just change, he changed the game.